I go with an honest answer that most recruiters can relate to. I say something along the lines of the fact that, when I'm not busy, I tend to get very bored and distracted and my levels of productivity go way down.
This is what I say. I say I don't like being bored. I need to have enough to do or I lose job satisfaction. It's true. The jobs I've hated the most have been the ones where there wasn't enough work and I was stuck clock watching. I figure, if they choose not to hire me because of this answer, it probably means they don't have enough work and I won't be happy in the job anyways. Bullets. Both the gun kind, and I use too many in PowerPoint presentation.
My answer to that question at the local ice cream parlor was, my biggest weakness is chocolate. I got the job. And a free scoop of chocolate ice cream every day I worked there.
My old roommate tried that for a desk job once. She said the interviewer gave her a blank stare, quietly wrote something down, then continued with the interview. She didn't get the job.
Wouldn't want to work with someone so dry anyway. My last boss told me that I'm condescending, and that it's a huge area I need to work on. That means I talk down to people.
Confidence. Need to stop second-guessing myself and realize that I'm good.
My usual go-to is that I have had difficulty with taking criticisms personally, especially against me when in a leadership role. I then follow up with talking about how I'm working on it and feel I've improved as I've taken on roles with more responsibility. It is an annoying question, but if you can find something to talk about honestly, and also explain how you are working to improve it, you're golden.
I have difficulty taking criticisms personally. Sounds like something you might want to work on. You know what? Fuck you.
My current job, I said, that's a pretty tough question for me. I like to work on something when someone points it out as a weakness, so I don't tend to have a really strong weakness that I notice. Can we come back to this question and I'll think on it in the meantime? Either he liked the answer enough or just forgot to ask again because we didn't go back. Edit. And for anyone wondering, I was just hoping to remember what I had Googled the day before. My real weakness is going to be being a semi-perfectionist, which sounds like a canned answer. I'll sometimes spend too long trying to make something perfect when it doesn't have to be.
I said this in an interview. The response was, okay, give me examples on a weakness you have worked on in the past. Back to square one.
That's where you do just give an example. I showed up to work a few minutes late a couple times due to traffic. I corrected the issue by being 15 minutes early, even if I didn't leave my truck until later. I was having an issue getting my important procedure done within time, so I started to work on it sooner. This might only be applicable to someone newly out of college or applying for entry-level jobs, but I had a professor tell me to say lack of experience. If you're applying for an intro-level job, it's expected. It's a weakness that's not really your fault, and you can spin it as a reason you should get the job.
Actually, this could be applicable to every job that doesn't fit anything you did before. For example, as a programmer, I might have 5 years experience, but I never worked on framework X or with language Y.
The year is 2015 and I'm interviewing for my first job at an unnamed game studio. I'm super nervous. I did the pre-interview tests and they liked them. And I get the question. I get really nervous and I talk a lot and ramble. It's pretty much word vomit until my brain catches up with my mouth until I catch up with what I just said, and most of the time I can't really remember the question. It got a lot of laughs in the room, but I really couldn't remember at the time what the director just asked me.
Honest answer followed by how you're improving. I tend to procrastinate, but I keep that at bay by sticking to a to-do list, etc.
I'm too humble. Perhaps the most humble person on the planet.
I too am extraordinarily humble.
Either my crippling alcoholism or penchant for theft. But I'm working on it. Hick.
The problem with kleptomaniacs is that they always take things literally.
I'm seeing a therapist for my kleptomania. I feel like I take away something valuable from each session.
I don't do good work when I'm multitasking. Since I know this about myself, when I am managing multiple projects at once, I allot time to concentrate on each separately. Any manager that doesn't have enough people skills or self-awareness to know that everyone is shitty at doing two high-level thinking tasks at once is not someone I want to work for.
I was on an interview panel and one of the candidates said their biggest weakness was, I always need to know why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Poor penmanship and swearing too much are my go-tos. Hiring managers usually get a chuckle out of it.
Being poor, but I'm working on improving that by getting this job.
Interviewer, what is your greatest weakness? Me, answering the semantics of a question while ignoring the pragmatics provided by the context. Interviewer, interesting. Could you give me an example? Me, yes.
Terrified at public speaking is usually the one I go with. It's fairly relatable but easy to brush off by saying I get past it through practice. It also has the benefit of being true.
Just had an interview. Was honest. Remembering people's names. I think most people can relate to that, too. And I mentioned that I have developed strategies to make sure it doesn't get in the way. Got the job offer.
I sing in the shower. Sometimes I spend too much time volunteering. Occasionally I'll hit somebody with my car.
I have a strong desire to make sure that things are done and done correctly. Unfortunately, at times that has led me to be distracted and concerned with things that other employees or my subordinates are responsible for. It's been part of my growth as a supervisor to trust that my employees can perform their jobs properly and verify that they are doing it, instead of hovering or doing it for them.
I went through this same thing. Now that the trust is built, my job is much less stressful because I can concentrate on my own work.
I usually approach it honestly. I'm super hard on myself to the point that it can be counterproductive. So I typically don't need a lot of coaching when I fuck up, but I need to be reminded to move on.
Yup. I work with a company who loved that about me. Then 3 years into training they decided to switch gears into quantity over quality, and it's really fucked me up.
I'm terrible at interviews, got me my job.
I'm going to try that, but I feel like they'd say, haha no, but seriously though.
Then you say, I am serious. And stare at him with a blank expression and dead silence, thus proving your claim.
Power move. Well, I'd say my weakness is the cause of me getting fired from my last 8 jobs. I bring in too many turtles apparently. I don't know how many the right amount of turtles is because I've brought anywhere from 50, up to 300. It seems unreasonable to bring less than 50, so I just don't get it. I would be honest during my interview about how many turtles I plan to bring to work with me and let loose in the facility, but they never ask. What about you guys? How many turtles do you guys bring to not get fired?
Honestly, I think the problem is you're not bringing in enough turtles.
I can't believe I've never thought of this. Just got a new job the other day and I'm showing up Monday with so many turtles.
Bring all the turtles, that way you can work backwards to find an appropriate amount to bring.
I usually say that I've been told I work too quickly, but I'm learning to strike a balance between working quickly and reducing errors.
Your eyes, and then I lean in for the kiss.